Ladies and gentlemen and children of the planet Earth, this is the beginning of segment number 6 of my new series, $1 with a Z, where I just previously in segment number 5 discussed the fact that the evil seed of death, aka the circle or sphere or compass with the eagle in it, which you can see by some pictures on inside my book, which you can see my entire book by pressing the link underneath my video to Amazon.com and seeing the book in Kindle form or the like. And in the previous segment I discussed that there was, in fact, because the eagle had 13 arrows in its sinister claw, 13 arrows in its sinister claw, and a bough of olive branch spelled B-A-U or B-O-W, inferring the words bow and arrows in its Dexter claw, aka the bow of olive branches in its Dexter claw, that the eagle represents a bow and arrows in its claws. And of course the 44th POTUS is represented as the commander-in-chief that sits behind the shield of our once great nation. And to prove that this is a representation of the commander-in-chief, look above the shield itself and you will see an Indian headdress which represents a chief in and of itself, and a chieftain of a tribe is in charge of war. So the chieftain of the tribe that is in charge of war, that has the bow and arrows in his hand, is a representation of war in the 1770s, and then a representation of war in today's world is the commander-in-chief that sits behind the American shield, the shield. The commander-in-chief is represented as the eagle or the great nation of the United States of America. And above the commander-in-chief's head is a representation of a nuclear detonation, which is a representation of the methodology of choice to kill people in today's world. And when I say today's world, what I actually mean is Fukushima and also World War II. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the Japanese have suffered this plague twice. But that is another video that we will make on a different day. However, at this point, we're going to move back to the fact that if there is a bow and arrows, it exists as the bough of olive branch in the eagle's Dexter claw, and the 13 arrows that appear in the eagle's sinister claw. And this also, this ribbon with 13 letters, e pluribus unum, can be the string that stretches across what is in reality a bow or a bow. This is also in pictographic form. The eagle's wings, represented like this, is a bow. The banner, e pluribus unum, could be the string, and because it's not straight, it is because it just fired an arrow. The pyramid, in this case, is a pointed arrow head facing downward, that the eagle or the bow and arrow has shot downwards, which represents the earthquake of Fukushima, because I explained to you before that the EU, the E and the U of the European Union is about to take precedence over the United States of America, which means America is about to end, and the bow, the string of the bow, and the arrow head facing downwards represents where this nuclear energy is coming from. It's a bit more complex than that, but that's about as complex as anybody could comprehend at this point without reading the entire book. Now, we rotated it twice, 3 times to get to this position. And if we rotate it one more time, what you're going to see, once again, now that you've had a chance to review the insanity that I've given you, what you have at this point are the gods that represent the cherubim, the faces, excuse me, I make a lot of mistakes. The cherubim that represent the faces with eyes, right here, this is one eye, this is another eye, the eyes before and behind. If you'll notice right here, it looks like a mouth. This looks like a nose right here. This eye looks like something is protruding out of the eye of the cherubim, but in reality, the eyes of the cherubim right here and right here that have these protrusions that are coming out that look like they wrap around the evil seed of death and the God pod, evil seed of death and the God pod, the eyes that have the protrusion that look like leafy representations of something or a vine are actually the eyes that are protecting the central portion of the Ark of the Covenant where the Lord God sets upon and his energy is comprised of. The Lord God sets upon the Ark of the Covenant upon the mercy seat, and the cherubim have the ability to see around the spheres, the circles, or the compasses, depending on your wording. The cherubim or seraphim have the ability to see around the compasses so that they can protect the Lord God, which is their job. It's kind of a pictograph or an ideogram that depicts a particular point of view, in that the cherubim or seraphim have the ability to see around objects so that they can protect the Lord God at all times. And as far-fetched as this might sound, this is my belief. Now, there are hundreds more pictographs in this small segment of the $1 bills. Another pictograph is that from the word one here and the word one here, what appears to be a white line headed upwards on both sides that runs parallel to the base of the $1 bill and the top of the $1 bill are actually, or is actually, this line represents the outline of the Ark of the Covenant. And the Ark of the Covenant is held by handles. These ones are where a man would hold the Ark of the Covenant on the 4 corners. And if you will notice, there are 4 corners with the word one, and they interject right here where there is another white line that goes from the base of the ones to the top of the other ones when you look at the bill in its entirety. The other white line represents the ends of the Ark of the Covenant or the mercy seat. So you have the end of the Ark of the Covenant and you have the length of the Ark of the Covenant appearing on the reverse of the $1 bill, because the entire reverse of the $1 bill is an exact replication of the Ark of the Covenant, and it's to scale. When I finally find a graphic artist that can do the video of this, it will be proven that this pictograph that appears on the green side of the $1 bill is a to-scale replica of the Ark of the Covenant. I can also tell you this is part of a 3-dimensional construct. a three-dimensional construct of King Solomon's temple. And I can show you this, and do show you this in my book. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, it's time for me to get a bigger camera.